Hello everyone and welcome to Tripp's art class. Today I want to talk to you about implied line. Now we're not talking about implied line in the sense where we would if we were analyzing line direction in a painting, but we're talking about implied line when it comes to more illustration and just drawing basic shapes and lines. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is draw a little character from one of Scotty Young's comic books. I'm going to sketch that out and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I already did the pencil sketch. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do now is go back over these lines and ink this little sketch. Now as I ink, what I'm going to do is not have every single line attached. That way there's such thing as implied line. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that here. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the implied lines that I included in this inked sketch. So I sketched it with pencil first, and then I went over and inked it with ink. And if you look here, when we talk about implied lines in this sense, what we're noticing is, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my pencil here in a different layer, and I'll go ahead and use a blue pencil, or blue pen, to demonstrate this. What I'm talking about is areas like this. Notice here there's not a solid line that connects all this together. There's not a solid line. What I'm using is implied line. Even here we don't see this circle completed. Okay, that's not what we see in this illustration. There's parts here that don't connect, right? Like right there. Right here we don't see this line continue out either. We don't see here a continuous line or here or here. We don't do that. So what I'm doing is leaving little blanks here. You see the empty areas. I'm leaving the empty areas, but in our minds, we put in a line. And a line, we fill in that space. So I don't have to draw every single little line. I don't have to connect every single one of these because our minds do that. And sometimes by not drawing in all that little detail and connecting all the lines and making the shapes very simplistic, it improves the artwork. It makes it a little bit more interesting. And I think one of the biggest examples is in the snout of this creature. If I were to close this completely, I don't think it would be as dynamic as having it open like this. So when we're talking about an implied line when it comes to illustration, that's kind of what we're talking about, is not having to connect every single line, but leaving open space where our mind puts in the line for us. Mentally in our brains, it is implied, so we don't have to draw in every single little line that is actually there. Some lines are implied. So thanks for hanging out today. We'll catch you next time on Tripp's Art Class.